In The Wizard of Oz, Dorothy just clicked her heels to get back home. By the time I reached Kansas, I was ready to try almost anything. The possibility of a cosmic shortcut from Wichita to Washington sounded like science fiction, but apparently there was hard science to back up this theory. Before I left Thaddeus, I traded some batteries for one of his cobalt clocks. That EMP timer would prove to be vital on numerous occasions, the first being my incredible stopover in Wichita. I paid a visit to Team Alpha, the group that believed it was us survivors who had disappeared. The group held their meetings in a physics lab on campus. Most of them weren't scientists, but they'd heard about the experiment and wanted to be involved. They invited me to join, said there was always room for another able body.
What we really need, though, is somebody who can crack this equation.
Harold Keeler was the brightest of the bunch, a grad student in physics who tried to explain their theory.
The professor thinks the Higgs field is the key. I'm calculating its threshold to see what amount of energy is needed to rip the field's topology.
These calculations are gibberish. You're forgetting the field is infinitely iterative.
The professor was their leader, Dr. E.W. Hunter, a guest lecturer at the university the day of the fall.
My theory is quite simple. The EMP caused a cataclysmic shift in our universe that, for all intents and purposes, created a baby universe, another dimension where we now reside. In other words, we're not in Kansas anymore, Toto.
To hear the professor explain it, it almost sounded plausible. Still, I had some questions, like what else he knew about the EMP.
It was obviously some type of classified weapon, capable of producing a pulse exponentially larger than anything witnessed previously. The only real mystery is why anyone would unleash such a destructive force. Probably some bungled test by those dunderheads in Washington.
I wanted to believe it was possible, but I still didn't understand how Team Alpha was going to send us home.
That's an excellent question, my boy. But rather than boring you with all the quantum terminology, you will see my plan enacted firsthand. And 47 minutes from now, we'll all be home for the holidays.
That's when my fantasy about getting back home took on a deadly reality. I was standing at ground zero.